Your DNA is not your destiny, and the science, actual peer-reviewed, hard-nosed science, proves it. Look, I know that might hit weird if you've spent years believing the opposite. Maybe you grew up watching a parent battle the same health issues their parent battled. Maybe a doctor once shrugged at you and said, "Well, it runs in your family." Maybe you've internalized this idea deep in your bones that you are a product of your genes and there is not a whole lot you can do about it. I get it. I really do. Because that story is everywhere in medicine, in culture, in the way we talk about ourselves. Oh, I've got bad genes. Heart disease runs in my family. Depression is just part of who I am. And I wrote an entire ebook to dismantle that lie. This comes straight from chapter 1 of my ebook, Quantum Recode, The Science of Manifestation and Subconscious Reprogramming. Specifically, the section on the role of epigenetics in shaping your external reality. I'm going to walk you through the full thing today, here for free, because this is one of those topics that I genuinely believe can change how a person sees their entire life. Not metaphorically, literally. The science changes everything. So stay with me here because what you're about to learn doesn't just challenge what you've been told about your genes. It hands you back control you didn't even know you'd lost. Alright, let's talk about epigenetics. And I know the word sounds heavy, but I promise once you understand what it actually means, you're never going to think about yourself the same way again. Epigenetics is the study of changes in how your genes are expressed without any change to your actual DNA sequence. Your genetic code, that long strand of ATCG base pairs, it stays the same. That doesn't change. But here's what most people don't realize. Having a gene doesn't mean that gene is active. Genes can be turned on or turned off, like light switches. And the wild part, your environment, your diet, your stress levels, your emotional state, the thoughts running through your head on a Tuesday afternoon, all of that influences which switches are on and which ones are off. Think about that for a second. You are not a fixed biological machine executing a predetermined program. You are a dynamic living system that is constantly being shaped by the choices you make, the emotions you feel, the environment you put yourself in. Epigenetic modifications are reversible. They don't lock you in. They respond to you. That is not a metaphor. That is biology. Now, let me break this down practically because I don't want this to stay abstract. Environmental factors are constantly creating what scientists call epigenetic markers, chemical tags that attach to your DNA and tell your cells how to read your genes. Chronic stress that can lead to epigenetic changes that significantly increase your risk of mental health disorders. That's documented. That's real. Stress isn't just a feeling. It's a biological instruction your body is executing at the genetic level. But here's the flip side, and this is where it gets exciting. A nutrient-rich diet, positive emotional experiences, time in nature, meaningful relationships, these things promote beneficial epigenetic modifications. Your body is listening to your life every single day. And it's not just your physical health, we're talking about your thoughts and emotions generate actual biochemical signals that travel through your body and interact with your gene expression. Positive emotions, joy, gratitude, love. These trigger epigenetic changes that enhance cognitive function and emotional resilience. You're not just feeling good, you're literally upgrading your biology. This is not woo, this is measurable science. You know what I mean when I say people have been sold a lie. The lie is that you're a passive recipient of your genetic inheritance, that the hand you're dealt is the hand you play. But studies on mindfulness meditation, real rigorous studies, show that people who meditate regularly exhibit beneficial epigenetic modifications, reduced stress markers, improved immune function. The practice changes the expression of their genes. Something as simple as sitting quietly, focusing on your breath, choosing to slow down. It reaches all the way down to the cellular level. Same with spending time in nature. Exposure to natural environments has been linked to positive epigenetic changes that enhance overall well-being. Your ancestors didn't need science to know this. They felt it. Now we can measure it. Here's what's wild though, and I want you to really sit with this. Epigenetic inheritance, the experiences of your ancestors, the trauma they endured, the environments they lived in, the emotional states they carried, those experiences can influence your gene expression right now, today. This has been demonstrated in research. The echoes of your grandparents' lives exist in your biology. Before you let that feel heavy, hear me out, because it flips the other direction too. Every choice you make, every lifestyle decision, every emotional pattern you choose to cultivate or release, every step you take toward health and awareness, you are creating an epigenetic legacy, not just for yourself, for the people who come after you, your children, their children. You are not just healing yourself, you are reshaping the biological inheritance of a lineage. That's not a small thing. That is one of the most profound responsibilities and opportunities a human being has. Hey, real quick, if this is landing the way it landed for me when I first started going deep into this research, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you want more content like this, subscribe. There's so much more where this came from. Alright, let's keep going. So, what does all of this have to do with manifestation? Everything. Look, there is a reason so many people try to manifest their desires and hit a wall. They're doing the visualization. They're saying the affirmations. They're trying to think positive. But their internal biology, their habitual emotional states, the stress chemistry running through their system is sending an entirely different signal. Your body doesn't just hear your intentions, it reads your biochemistry. And if your biology is stuck in a chronic stress response, in fear, in survival mode, your gene expression reflects that, and that reflects in your reality. Epigenetic awareness is understanding that aligning your internal state, your thoughts, your emotions, your lifestyle with your desired reality isn't just a mindset trick, it's a physiological recalibration. You are literally changing which genes are switched on and which are switched off, and that changes everything. This is what I call epigenetic reprogramming, the intentional modification of your epigenetic markers. And the tools for doing it aren't complicated, but they have to be consistent, because real biological change takes repetition, meditation, visualization, affirmations. These aren't just feel-good practices. When done with intention and regularity, they are literally inducing positive epigenetic changes. Your brain doesn't distinguish perfectly between a vividly imagined experience and a real one, and your cells respond accordingly. So let me walk you through the 5 practical steps from the source material, because I want you to leave this video with something you can actually use. First, cultivate a positive mindset. And I don't mean toxic positivity. I mean actively building practices that generate real positive emotional states. Gratitude journaling, mindfulness meditation, intentional time in nature. These aren't extras, they are epigenetic interventions. Second, adopt a nutrient-rich diet. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats. The food you eat is information for your genes. It directly influences your epigenetic markers. What you put in your body is a vote for the kind of biology you want to live in. Third, manage your stress levels. This one is non-negotiable. Chronic stress is one of the most damaging epigenetic forces there is. Yoga, deep breathing, regular physical movement, whatever it takes to break the cycle, do it consistently. Fourth, foster emotional well-being. Surround yourself with people who support you. Engage in things that bring you genuine joy. The emotional environment you live in becomes the biological environment your cells operate in. And fifth, practice epigenetic reprogramming techniques, visualization, affirmations, meditation, daily with intention, not as rituals you check off a list, as genuine internal experiences that your body can respond to. Feel the emotions of the reality you want. Your biology doesn't respond just to thought, it responds to the full felt experience. Start one of these tonight, just one. Pick the one that feels most accessible and start, because every step is a signal to your genes that something is changing. I want to close by saying something real. If this video resonated with you, if something in here cracked open a door you didn't know was there, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's been told their health issues are genetic and they're stuck with them. Someone who feels like a victim of their family history. Send it to them because this information has the power to change how they understand themselves, and that changes everything else. Drop a comment and tell me, what's one epigenetic change you're going to start making this week? I read them. I want to know what you're committing to. And if you want to go deeper, because what you just heard is one topic from one chapter, Quantum Recode is where the whole system lives. The full science, every technique, the complete roadmap for subconscious reprogramming and manifestation, all of it built on research like what we covered today. If you've felt powerless over your health, your patterns, the cycles that keep repeating, this is the blueprint I wrote to help you break free from all of it. The link is in the description. You are not your genes. You never were. And now you know why. See you in the next video.